So that is the Scarlet Knight story, Ashley. What interests you the most about Washington heading into this one?
Yeah, there's a lot, Dave. I think for the fact that this is the first true road game for Jedd Fisch and the Huskies, and yet it is a homecoming for Fisch. He's a Jersey guy, grew up about an hour away from Piscataway. His mom still lives there, so he'll have a bunch of friends and family at the game. But I'm interested to see, and I think it'll be good to see how Washington looks in this environment because it's a big game. It's a night game. You mentioned the blackout. You'll have more eyes on you because it's Friday night on Fox. Jedd Fisch was asked specifically about Kyle Monangai, the Rutgers running back, and the challenge that he presents. And his take was that, hey, our defense is well prepared to take on their running backs because we've been going against Jonah Coleman and a great stable of players every day in practice. And I think for the Huskies, and Dave, this is true for every team, but you just heard Jerry talk about Rutgers evolving. It's about how much can you grow and learn and evolve each week during the season, because during fall camp, we talked a ton about the 60 new faces in Seattle. And so now you've got 4 games under your belt. Coaches have a better sense of who these players are when the lights actually go on. But to me, like, the real measure of success is how much you can improve each week and make new mistakes, not the same ones over and over again. So that's what I'm interested in. What about you?
I'm with you. I think that Washington's defense is a huge story that maybe we haven't talked a ton about. But Jedd Fisch, his reputation is as an offensive coach. That's where he's had a ton of success on that side of the ball. But, man, he made an unbelievable defensive coordinator hire, at least early on here, in Steve Belichick. And you were talking about all the new faces. And that's what's so amazing to me here is that Washington has played as well as they have, given up 41 points here in 4 games. And they've done it with zero continuity. I mean, not only are all the players new, essentially, you have very few carryovers from that team last year, but even the guys who would be familiar with one another on that side of the ball, they didn't know the scheme. So, I mean, Steve Belichick had to come in, he had to teach them this scheme, he had to get everyone on the same page, and to do it as quickly as he has done it, that's what really jumps out to me. I mean, I expect them, look, they're a big play offense. They got more plays at 20 yards or longer than any team in the Big Ten. I expected that out of Washington, and I think it's going to be a big challenge for Rutgers, because as good as they've been defensively, they got gashed a few times early on here. They have to prevent those big plays. But to me, the big thing that has stood out has been that Washington defense.
I'm with you, and I think it's interesting when you think about Steve Belichick, and we could probably do a whole, I'd like to see an urban analysis on Steve Belichick, because this is the guy who spent his entire career up to this point in the NFL and with one team, the New England Patriots. So he's learning as well the nuances of college, which is very different. The schedules are different, what you can ask of these guys, what your players all know. So not only is he getting to know his players and his personnel, but he's learning how to be a college defensive coordinator. So early returns are that was a terrific hire for Jedd Fisch. And, you know, I'm excited to see this one. I think Rutgers, you want to talk about Rutgers fans, they're excited about the team that they have this year. They nearly blew it against Virginia Tech, but dug in and got it done on Saturday. First ever win at Lane Stadium. And now they're 3-0 headed into league play. So if you peek ahead at their schedule, after Washington, Rutgers goes to Nebraska, and maybe the only other games, Dave, that they won't be favored in the rest of the way are at USC and, depending on how things go, home against Illinois in late November. So they don't have to play Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, or Penn State. So a favorable schedule for Greg Schiano, and obviously they can't do what we are doing right now, which is look ahead, because it all starts with taking care of business at home on Friday against the Huskies. But plenty more to come here on